All right, sluts, I'm going to get Kitty. It's a kitty. Did it. I got him. Hey, say something. Nice. Okay. Anyway, another react. The last, I don't know, 4 or 5 have been a bit negative. It's kind of how it goes when you bitch and moan about the internet and gaming as a whole. It's a negative topic as a whole, and I was like, I gotta find something more positive. So we've got good old Nakey Jakey, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, in defense of 7 out of 10 games. I have seen this, and I like the points he makes. Not every game has to be perfect, and he's gonna explain why.
I just spent 60 hours playing a game that I don't think is actually very good. Ghost Recon Wildlands was pretty universally seen as
Just off rip, have not played Wildland. I've heard it's not very good, so I never tried it. But he might sell me on it.
a 7 out of 10 back when it came out in 2017 out of 10. The writing is among the worst of any game I
see
have
what you
ever
did there.
played. Voice acting comes across as like a middle schooler's idea of what they think sounds cool and awesome. The American interventionism power fantasy of hunting down a Bolivian drug cartel by blowing up tangos everywhere you go is problematic, to say the least. So why did I play this game so much? Because kids sometimes
61 hours? Bro, I'm just saying, it can't be that bad. Last played? No. Hours played. So we all know I complained last time and said I probably shouldn't have sunk 3,300 hours into Rocket League. There's other good games. We've got a decent amount of Crab, 328, 97. So he's at 61. I barely have any. Among Us somehow, dude, the freaking pandemic years, that's got to be from stream and stuff too, right? Apparently I played Among Us. I don't remember a single minute. Fall Guys for 48 hours? Anyway, you get the point. Can't be that bad, brother.
Daddy doesn't always want the cautiously prepared 5-star Gordon Ramsay dinner, all right? Sometimes he wants Pizza Hut. It's critically mid comfort trash. It might not be good for your brain, but spin me right round and call
Call me Sally?
me dead or alive.
Damn it. This is Dead Island 1, right? Maybe Riptide even. Super mid trash, or whatever you said.
Dead or alive. Extreme beach ball. Holy shit. Maybe I do like sports, Dad. Chumba, wumba, hubba, hubba. But many of these critically deemed 7 out of 10s are often
God, I wish I was funny. Like him. Okay, I'm not that unfunny. Relax. But damn it. I got the green screen, dude. Do we whip it out? It's been collecting dust. Should I use it again? Or the green sheets? I had green sheets. I had a green screen room, basically, when I was streaming. The old apartment. It was sick.
capable of scratching a specific itch. An itch that those esteemed 10 out of 10 hold forward while your character shimmies through a tight crack games just can't quite scratch. The only thing they scratching is that tight crack on their ass. The best 7 out of 10s might not always
Tight
fully
crack.
stick the landing, but hey, at least it's trying out some cool new trick. Don't worry about the haters, brother. I gotcha. 7s walk so that 10s can steal their mechanics later and win a bunch of awards. That's why 6 scare of 7, not because they 9. Take the Just Cause series made by Avalanche.
Dude, there's no good places to pause because he doesn't stop. He's on fire. Okay. Yeah, I've complained about this with Last of Us, but sometimes I don't just want a cinematic, well-crafted, and then everything's like a quick time event, or like you press one button and then you basically watch a cutscene. And that's, what is this, Uncharted?
10 out of 10 hold forward while your character shimmies.
Yeah, ooh, wow. Yeah, just out of here. And then the other thing, Mad Max Fury Road. Dude, is that on my Steam played? I think I put like 8 hours in, and I thought it was cool, but then I just kind of moved on to other stuff. But this game, probably sick. It's probably fun. It's probably a solid 6 or 7 out of 10, but it's not bad. It's not a bad game. I don't know if I've like went down the rabbit hole of complaints here on rankings and ratings and everything, but I kind of think maybe it's like the American education system, where we do like grades, A, B, C, D, E, or A, B, C, D, F. So everyone just thinks a C is bad, but in real life, a 7 out of 10 is way above average, because in real life, it's a bell curve, and average is smack dab in the middle at 5. Anything above 5 is good. And then you get to like really good and like God tier. Those are the 8s, the 9s, the 10s. But just assuming that like even if it's bad, you expect IGN and GameSpot to give it a 6 or 7. It's like, no, bad games are 3s and 4s and 2s and 1s.
Sure, it's only 7 out of 10.
No, if people don't understand statistics, like fundamentally at the most basic top-down level, the average human does not understand a normal distribution curve. And it's just the way you are able to like center yourself and give perspective to things. And almost everything in the world follows a normal distribution. It might be tighter or wider, but the majority of people are in the middle, and you got outliers on both ends. And assuming that the normal curve is centered around a 7 is so asinine.
Take the Just Cause series made by Avalanche Studios, you know, some real solid 7 out of 10 games. Do people like them because they're polished? Are you blind? Are you here right now? Is he stand up or is he in your chair right now? People love the physics.
Dude, how do you there's no way he's even scripting that part. It just came to him. Damn it. Yeah, Just Cause is great because it's not. It's just go fly around and do crazy shit, blow everything up.
Box of chaos and explosions and creativity and gliders and scratches chin, ponders. What's in like every game in the past 5 years? Perchance it's gliders, my lord. Wildlands
that's a weak argument. I don't think Fortnite stole gliders from Just Cause. What else did he say stole? I guess, I mean, none of these are Fortnite. It's Dying Light 2. I really just don't know what this is. Bottom left. What is that game? Spider's Web. I was going to say like maybe Horizon, but no, it's way too cartoony. The fuck are we looking at? And then this is Warzone, and then that's Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
And surprise, surprise, it's made by the undisputed king of the 7 out of 10 open world game, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you calling soft, brother? You're the soft one. Matter of fact, you be making me soft with that fugly ass ball of yours. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. We often give Ubisoft.
I'm glazing, but that's insane. Say you're sorry. Dude, a fugly ass ball. I would typically take the approach that like Ubisoft 7 out of 10s are not worth playing. Like it's garbage. Like go do something else with your time. But I can, his overall point of like just you're not always in the mood for perfection. Sometimes just going around an open world and capturing the outposts and doing the stuff. Rinse and repeat, mindless. Sometimes that's fun. And I mean, I guess I can totally get behind that idea.
We're a bunch of crap for what they do. And yeah, honestly, we should. They do a lot of dumb shit. Ubisoft Connect can connect its foot to my ass. Wait, scratch that, reverse it. But the sheer amount.
Reverse it.
Are the animations gonna be polished? Does a bear shit in a Ubisoft outpost? No, well, oh, sometimes they do. There are bears in Far Cry. Scratch that. Reverse it. Is your companion gonna ask you to take?
Running joke. Reverse it. What was his point there? Like it's janky, but it inspires better games.
That then go on to influence much better games is.
Are we sure that there's a continuity in the timeline here? Which Far Cry's on the left? 3? Far Cry 3 was very good though, to be fair. It is weird. Far Cry, the downfall of Far Cry, I'm sure has been made many a time here on the YouTubes, but I don't know, man. It's weird how bad 4 and 5 and Primal were from an overall perspective of like just genuinely mid stories, mid everything. They just like kind of looked better each time with better graphics. I've heard 6 like kind of return to the roots of 3 a little bit. Still haven't played it. I don't know. Is it on Game Pass? Have I told you about Game Pass? I find a way to mention that I have Game Pass so fucking often. I haven't even played that many games on Game Pass.
Is your companion gonna ask you to take the vehicle off of sweet jumps even when it's a helicopter? I don't know. Let's ask one of our genius tango operators over here.
This ride ain't all bad.
Shit, give me a beer and I'll pretend we're back home off the coast of Myrtle Beach.
You still think you're 22 or something?
Nah, I'm just looking to hook up with 22-year-olds.
What are you?
Sure
no,
you are.
say the
Too bad
line
none of
about
them
the
feel the same way.
fucking jumps, you creep. But now let's.
It's not even the right clip. Purposely took the wrong clip. That's crazy they wrote that. I mean, I guess it's like, you know, each their own, but.
Compare a Ubisoft open world to a 10 out of 10 open world like GTA 5. Can you tackle objectives however you want? I'll give you a hint. The answer is no. But is it way more detailed and polished and generally functional? Yes. Like many other prestige 10 out of 10 games, it practically plays itself. And people go, whoa.
I don't know, man. GTA is like on training wheels to some extent, you know, but it's still a massive sandbox where you can push the game and do crazy stuff. I mean, we just got done praising it in the context of playing games wrong, where there are some open worlds where, like Minecraft, it's just too open and there's just nothing really to be pushed. And then there's other open worlds that are super linear, and GTA is definitely like in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I guess compared to Wildlands and Far Cry, I don't know, man. You're right. You're not capturing outposts, even in single player. It's very different. Fair enough, I guess.
Obviously, Ubisoft's quality standard is vastly inferior. That's not my point. Most people are going to enjoy GTA 5 as a product way more, and justifiably so. But I guess my dumbass point is that a critic score does not always tell the full story of exactly what an experience entails.
Whoa, are we talking about Prototype here? Is this Prototype?
And what might appeal to you. And also,
Yeah, no, best 7 or 7.5 out of 10 of all time, Prototype and Prototype 2. For some people, for me, when I was a kid, my God, it was like one of the first games where you could just kind of be a superhero slash supervillain, kind of a spoiler, and just like go crazy and fly around and dive bomb and like no fall damage, no anything. It was like the Spider-Man games at the time weren't freeing or weren't as free as the newer ones, right? Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 are vastly more, God, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, you can just go anywhere and swing anywhere. Like the GameCube version, like you kind of could, but the map was tiny and there was like fall damage or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm a liar.
In summary, Nakey Jakey's in defense of the 7 out of 10 games has a couple interesting points that are sadly buried underneath a wealth of poop and fart jokes. A 7 out of 10. Hi, I'm Jakey. And Jakey.
Attorney Yellow. Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video.
Opera, you're not paying me. If you want to, we can talk, but you're not, so we're going to move on.
This transition back to the main part of the video was pretty smooth, but ultimately plagued by my untimely divorce.
What?
Take Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Most critics reviewed this game lower than the first one, with a lot of 7 out of 10s. But ask anyone who's played both games, and they'll likely tell you how much better of a game Shadow of War is.
What the f? I'm actually annoyed. Pardon my French, dude. What are we talking about? What are we smoking? They improved on every main core function and mechanic of the first one. It's a bigger world. The whole, one of the greatest video game enemy AI systems of all time that is now firmly in the grave, never to be used again apparently. The Nemesis system was way more impressive in the second one. There were dragons. I don't even know what to say. That's so brain dead. What could they possibly bitch and moan? It's a Lord of the Rings game, dude. Gollum wishes. Everyone, oh, the Gollum games. These two right here are the best ones ever made. It's not even close. And this one's better than the first one. Whatever. Opinions of people on the internet, you know, take them with a grain of salt, just like my opinion. Well, not this part of the opinion. This part of the opinion is like rock solid, great advice. Like, take other people's opinion with a grain of salt.
Played both games, and they'll likely tell you how much better of a game Shadow of War is. This Metacritic score may as well be ancient hieroglyphics to them, and they are not Tomb Raider, Crody. They cannot read that. The Nemesis system is vastly superior in Shadow of War, which I think alone makes it a much more worthwhile experience to spend your limited precious gamer hours on before you inevitably die. But also, take this all with the fattest grain.
Dude's reminding me of the inevitable death that we will all experience. Jesus Christ.
The fattest grain of salt, because this is all coming from a guy that typically does not give a shit about most video game stories. And the reason for that, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. Haha, LOL, remember that one? In my personal experience, I think a lot of especially AAA video game stories are some pretty droll, uninspired garbage featuring like the most insipid millennial-ass writing ever. And I do not hesitate to skip a cutscene. And if I don't even have the option to skip a cutscene, that's an immediate C sanitary rating for come on. Which is an interesting thing.
Come on.
C rating for come, dude.
Yeah, the whole story debate, I'm trying to like stay consistent with my opinions here. And like, story is important generally. And it is nice to really be, you know, engulfed in the story of a well built out world with consistent theme and good writing for at least the main NPCs that you interact with and the antagonist and all that stuff. But at the same time, yeah, it's a video game, and they're like trying, at this point, everyone's just trying to make as much money as possible. So it's like all of the story points have been dumbed down to the lowest common denominator, where it's like, there's a bad guy and he's, the corrupt government military organization. And okay, all right, next, skip, great, just get to the boss fight. I don't care. God, like even with Horizon Zero Dawn, like I've said it a couple times, I keep on saying how I've said things, but I still think Horizon has a fantastic story. Ultimately, like cool themes about like just potential real situation where AI goes crazy and causes the extinction of humanity and then slowly crawls its way back. And even then it's still problematic. All that stuff is really cool and interesting. But even then it's delivered in such a cringe way at times with bad writing or bad voice acting or whatever. And it's just like, whatever. I just want to go run around and kill robot dinosaur looking guys with my spear and bow. I don't know. So him saying that like, okay, the story sucks, I don't care. I do agree to some extent. God, like, let's think about the Fallout tier list. I know I'm rambling, but I don't know why I even apologize. The fuck. So think about the Fallout tier list with how much emphasis the more older, more OG crowd puts on the original 2 games that before Bethesda even took over, and especially like New Vegas with the role playing and the story and all, acting like the story in 4 is so bad, and when ultimately at the end of the day they are very fucking similar. It's just like there's more backstory to the stupid dumb walking stereotype characters in New Vegas than the stupid dumb walking stereotype characters in Fallout 4. But it's still incredibly not that complex, not that deep. It's just like, yeah, bro, if there was really the end of the world and there was a way to monetize it, some corrupt organizations and governments would try to monetize it. Like, yeah. Pretty straightforward. I can't wrap this thought up very well, but hopefully I've made something that makes sense here.
Interesting thing when it comes to reviews, right? One critic is going to place way more importance and weight on certain qualities.
I should have just let him say it. He says it better.
So Shadow of War gets a lot of lower scores than Shadow of Mordor because of a shitty story and bloated size. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that stuff because it's not why I'm here. I'm here to kill funny orcs. I'm not here to 100% every game I play. Get a job. Not to grind your gears. This actually sort of is my job. Obviously, in a perfect world.
Bro, arguing with yourself as a green screen is so funny.
If you realistically don't expect a Tarantino-level screenplay every time you boot up your Xbox 5, suddenly a lot of those 7s are actually starting to look like 8ers or 9ers. Hey, yo, 9er, we got a 319! Dying Light is such a fun and unique blend of fluid movement and zombie
even get the
combat,
reference.
and it absolutely nails both of those core features. It just feels really good to play. But check the critical reviews, and it's a lot of 7s, pointing out a shitty story, which it is, with shitty characters, which they are, and repetitive story objectives lacking real player motivation.
And then somehow it's even worse than the second. I don't know. I go back and forth on Dying Light at this point. I most recently beat Dying Light 2, and I liked it. But the story's goofy and like super fake and dumb. But like the parkour's better, and like the combat is like better in some ways, but worse in some ways. The progression is more of a traditional RPG with like more skill points and skill trees as opposed to the first game where it's like a much more straightforward basic skill tree, different tiers. So like it's so hit or miss, man. But I did go back and finally start like another playthrough of Dying Light 1 with a couple guys, and it is, especially in co-op, it is so much fun. And I played with these same guys in Dying Light 2, but for whatever reason, it's hitting harder in Dying Light 1. I don't know why.
If it's good, your main reason for playing the game is the riveting story. If you're here to kill zombies and be terrified while running around nighttime with your friends, the only objective you need is an icon on the map saying, come get y'all juice. Okay, but now look at Dying Light 2, which also received a lot of 7s. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the same reasons as the first game. But for me, 2 was a disappointment for different reasons. The satisfying ragdolls from the first game were just fully absent, and it just didn't feel as good to kill zombies in this game, which along with doing cool jumps, I do so very much love a cool jump. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to find out what happens to generic 20-something male game protagonist who mysteriously sounds like every other 20-something male game protagonist in every game ever. I love skateboarding, and I also love games that have a high skill ceiling and take some time to master, you know, like Super Smash Bros. Melee or Big Buck Hunter Arcade Nude Mod Texture Pack. So you take a skate simulator like Skater XL or Session, both games that reviewed very poorly. I mean, I'm talking more like 5 or 6 out of 10 because of the price, the bugs, the difficulty, the lack of a true single-player campaign, all totally valid reasons.
No, ignore what Jake is saying. Look at this sweet 1 mile per hour grind.
True single-player campaign, all totally valid.
It's a Bethesda fall, dude. He's playing Fallout with a skateboard. That's awesome.
But at the same time,
I want to play it.
I have played them this much.
195
and I
hours.
have deduced that Session is actually the much better game. One man's trash is another man's
only 30
virtual
hours
tech
in Session,
deck
though,
that
man.
I can
What
play
the
for hours and hours on end, giving myself my own objectives and challenges, much like a baby that just took your phone and found the settings app. At the end of the day,
Got
What
games on
even
your
is
phone?
a review score, but an arbitrary number that some person online just chose and said, yeah, I know that's right. Why is it so deeply rooted in our caveman brains to assign rankings to everything and pit
I am
everything
part of that
against
problem.
each other with tier lists and top 10 lists? Restaurants, movies, video games, people. Are you a 7 out of 10? Am I a 7 out of 10? This video title isn't even an original thought. This person wrote about the exact same concept before I did, and this person wrote about it before they did. Are we all just
Nice.
doing and saying the same things? Does any of this even matter?
God damn, dude, he's getting philosophical.
But maybe the magic was lurking in the mid all along. Is the beauty of our daily lives actually sourced in the mundane moments we deem to be seemingly unexceptional?
Nice.
Maybe the truly exceptional
Hell
moments
yeah,
are
good
the
joke.
ones special and individually unique to us. The things that we like, even if this one chronically online yoga ball gamer said it made them want to Ubisoft connect their foot to ass. Maybe everything was a 7 all along. I'd be okay with that. A 7 feels
The white
most
claws.
accurate when reviewing our collective experience on this blue orb. It's mostly good with a little bit of trash sprinkled on top for good measure. A 7 out of 10.
All right. Surprisingly sincere ending there. And in general, like, that's probably a good thing. I like that, though. I do like the overall, the overall point. This is like tangential, but, perfectionism, right? Like, the game doesn't have to be perfect. Like, nothing you do has to be perfect, by the way, because give it more than like 2 days and it doesn't matter anymore. Unless we're talking about like winning Olympic gold, like you probably have to have perfect execution in something at some point to do that. If we talk about just like everyday normal life, normal people doing normal shit, it doesn't have to be perfect, and striving for perfection is just gonna like make everything take way too long, and you can just satisfy. Satisfice doesn't mean accept garbage, but it means things are good enough. There's some arbitrary level somewhere, and the level is different depending on what you're doing, where it's good enough, and going past that is diminishing marginal returns. It's not worth, it's no longer worth it. The amount of effort you put in does not correlate with the amount of like value that effort provides. So just phone it in after you're at a 7 or 8 out of 10. You'll be fine. There's plenty to love about a lot of games that are in that 6, 7, 8 category. They're not the best. They're not the must plays, but they're not and they are worth checking out for most people. And I like that. I like bringing it back down to reality. We cannot, I think it's probably pretty goddamn toxic to hold the entire industry to this perfection standard, because let's be honest, that is part of what is destroying the medium as a whole, and what is leading to so many layoffs like 2024 and 2023, and really just pandemic years and everything. If games have to be highly reviewed and highly sold and effectively a 9 or 10 out of 10, we're gonna have very few games left. I mean, even I don't want to get too far into this because it's more negativity, and it's also just it's a much more complex topic. But I mean, think about Destiny 2. For all intents and purposes, an extremely successful game, financially, player populations, everything. It's not perfect. There's plenty to complain about with those games. I don't play them. They are a success, and Bungie continues to be forced to lay people off consistently. Another round last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. Were they expecting 10s? Was Sony saying, your game that was supposed to last a decade only lasted 5 years and was only in a 7 or 8 out of 10? Sorry, you're all out of a job, like, despite making infinite money. I mean, it's like one of the top grossing games month in, month out, every fucking month for years, and they still get shit canned. So I don't know. I think it's toxic. I tried to keep it positive, but here I go being negative. I apologize. But if you did like my thoughts on this topic, like the video. I'll keep doing more of these. It shows that you care about what I have to say. I'll probably still do them anyway, though. Subscribe to the channel for more. If you want to get those notifications, ring the bell. Hopefully, I'll catch you next one. See you.